ever going to be a time when Erica has it all together and ready? Probably not.
Time for our director cameo.
Do you think? Hey y'all, hey, Erica with Times to Shrink. Today I have a really fun video. I have been getting some granolas in the mail that I am so enjoying from this low carb baking company. Low carb with a K, keto nut granola. They have blueberry cinnamon, they have a cocoa, and then they have a cinnamon almond pecan. I was trying to figure out ways to use it other than just, you know, throwing it on your yogurt or eating it with some milk. So today we are going to use it as the base of a cheesecake. We are going to make low carb lemon cheesecake with a lemon curd and a granola crust. Y'all, this will be my 4th time making this. It is that good. It goes so fast. We're going to use the blueberry for our cheesecake crust, and then we're going to use the cinnamon almond pecan and make some protein balls. These are protein balls dipped in chocolate. They are so good, high in protein. Y'all are gonna love it. This is not a sponsored video in any way, y'all. They did send me this granola for free, but I just wanted some new ways to use it. So we have all this extra time right now, so why not just play in the kitchen, right? I mean, that's my idea of fun. Let me just share with you exactly what's in these. We're gonna go over this basic cinnamon almond pecan one. There are 9 servings per container. A serving is 1/3 of a cup, y'all, which is quite a bit. I mean, 1/3 of a cup is a good amount of granola. That's 190 calories, 18 fat, 10 carbohydrates, 4 of that is fiber, and 4 of that is sugar alcohols. So if you do all that math, it's total carbs minus dietary fiber minus sugar alcohols gives you a net carb of 2. So for an entire 1/3 of a cup, it's a net carb of 2 grams. So the little bit that we're using in the crust is going to keep our cheesecakes so low carb, y'all. So, oh, and there's also 5 grams of protein per serving. So I just wanted to kind of go over that. And the ingredients are almonds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, coconut chips, pecans, erythritol, monk fruit, butter, and cinnamon. I mean, it doesn't get any cleaner. I absolutely love this granola. I like all of them. My favorite is probably the blueberry cinnamon. That's enough chat, and let's get started making that cheesecake, y'all. The first thing we're gonna do is throw together our crust because it is gonna need to bake. So I'm gonna turn my oven on real quick, 325. While that's working behind us, we're just gonna throw together our crust. It is super simple. I am using Trim Healthy Mama baking blend. It is my favorite low carb flour. It's a flour basically, but it's even lower carb than straight almond flour. So we're going with 27 grams of this straight into our food processor. 2 tablespoons of pecans. You could use walnuts. I'm choosing pecans. This is our blueberry granola. We are using the 1/4 of a cup. I'm going in with 1.5 tablespoons of melted butter, some cinnamon. I have 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon and just like about 1/4 teaspoon of some pink Himalayan sea salt. So that's going in, and then I have 1 tablespoon of powdered Lakanto sweetener. You could also use like a brown sugar substitute sweetener there, but I'm just going with what I had. So it's super simple. You just throw it in here and blend it up. Just kind of pulse it. We're gonna do it until we get one kind of good crumbly consistency. Okay, let's check it out, y'all. What you wanna do is grab a piece and see if it stays together. We're not quite there yet, so I am going to add another 1/2 tablespoon of butter. Give me 1 second. We just want to get enough that it's sticking together, kind of like a coarse crumb. Yeah, that looks better. So, like I said, you pull a little bit, pinch it together. If it starts to stay together, you know you're good. So, we're good. What I did was take my regular cupcake pan, and then I put these little silicone liners in it. Y'all, I finally have these. I have not bought these. I've seen so many people use them. I'm so excited to have them. They work perfect for this. Okay, so we're gonna put it in the bottom, and you just wanna press it down evenly. And then do the same exact amount in all of the rest of them. All done, going in for 6 minutes. Siri, set a timer for 6 minutes. Okay, 6 minutes. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna clean this up, and we're gonna make our cheesecake filling. All right, we're gonna throw this cheesecake together. So, we've got our mixer with our little beater on here. I don't know what this one's called, but this one, I'm not a baker. Okay, this recipe is from a lady on Instagram named Low Karb Nancy. She makes the best stuff over there, and this cheesecake is like famous on Instagram. So I want you to go to her page for the actual recipe. So I'm going to tell ingredients, but I'm not going to tell amounts for this one, but I will link her down below. You will very easily be able to find it. So the key to a cheesecake, I'm not a baker, but I have learned this, is you want everything to be room temperature. You don't want anything to be cold at all. So I've had this stuff sitting out for at least 2 hours. Got our cream cheese. That is the first thing that I'm going to put in. So we're going to get that going first. We want it to get whipped to a really, really creamy consistency. Ooh, that's popping out. Sometimes you need to use these shields, y'all, so you don't get it all over yourself. Okay. All right, let's grab this. We're gonna take our crust out and just set it to the side until we're ready for it. All right, let's check. This looks pretty creamy. So what I'm gonna do at this point is take my spatula and go down the sides. Pull your sides all the way down. Remember, we want smooth, smooth cheesecake. So we're gonna pull all the sides down, and then we're going to beat it one more time before we add anything else. Take your sifter. We're gonna sift all of our powdered sugar a little bit at a time until we have no lumps or bumps. This will be the next thing that goes in. Look at all of that. So you can use your fingers and kind of push it through. Just got to get rid of those lumps and bumps, y'all. This particular sifter, y'all, I got at Sur La Table. Sifters are not all made equally. You want one that has big enough holes that things will go through easily, but not so tight that you're going to be working for an hour, especially for gluten-free baking or keto baking. We use a lot of almond flour, which is a little thicker than a standard white flour, so you want one that has a little bit bigger hole. I have been using a pastry sifter forever, and it took me, like, no joke, like hours to sift almond flour. This is awesome. It was like less than $10, I think. Sur La Table. I'll find it and link it down below. I love this guy. Lumps and bumps gone, y'all. We're going to unlock. I'm going to use my spatula and pull the sides down one more time. We're going to add our powdered sugar slowly. Turn your mixer on very low and slowly add this. You don't want it to spew up in your face. Turn it up. Next thing I'm going to do is slowly add in my eggs. A little bit of vanilla. All right, we're going to do the same thing. You just keep doing it until everything is nice and all one creamy consistency. This is going to be pretty liquidy, y'all. It will set up when it cooks, but it's pretty liquidy at this stage. So don't think you've messed up. It does get pretty liquidy. But again, how many times can we say it? We don't want lumps and bumps. So just keep repeating this until you don't have any lumps or bumps. So now what you're gonna do is take your cheesecake mixture. I put it in this pie just because it was easier to pour. That's just a tip because it is pretty liquidy. So you're going to evenly distribute this between all 12. You won't have any left over. We just want to try and make them as even as possible. So what you're going to do is gently pick it up and kind of hit it. A couple times like that, you're getting any bubbles that are in there out. We're going to cook it at 325 degrees for 20 minutes. Hey Siri, set the timer for 20 minutes, please. Thank you, ma'am. All right, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit and then we're gonna start making the lemon curd. This lemon curd takes this recipe from amazing to mind-blowing. Like, I swear, y'all. This is another girl on Instagram. Her name is Keto Chicks. I will link her recipe down below. So once again, I'll be showing you all the ingredients, but not the amounts. If a recipe's not mine, I want to give credit where credit is due, right? So that's just how we're going to roll. It'll all be linked down below so y'all can find it and go make it. All right, y'all, we are going to make our lemon curd. This is so simple. The first time I made it, I was scared to death, but it was so simple. So what we are doing is we're taking our eggs. Again, this is from Keto Chicks on Instagram. I will link her down below so you can go get the exact recipe. We're taking our eggs and egg yolks, taking our Lakanto powdered sugar, which I have already sifted, so there's no lumps or bumps. So we're dumping that in together. Okay, and then it said to whisk until it is well combined. Again, we're going for super consistent, nice and creamy, no lumps or bumps. The main reason that I like to use the Lakanto powdered sugar versus any other kind is because it is powdered It doesn't give any like grainy texture. There's no graininess ever. If you use a regular one versus a powdered, I will put it in your food processor or coffee grinder and grind it up till it's powdered. Otherwise, I'm not sure what the graininess level would do. So I highly suggest having Lakanto powdered sugar in your arsenal. I just always keep it. It's my favorite to work with if I'm doing any sort of baking. It just makes it so much simpler, y'all. So this is already all one consistency. So I think we are good there. I'm just gonna whip it for a couple more minutes just in case. All right, y'all, this step is the crucial step. You do not want to cook your eggs. So we have hot lemon juice. I put this in the microwave for 30 seconds. It did not get to boiling, but it is quite warm. You're going to, while constantly whisking, slowly drizzle this in. We want to temper our eggs. We do not want to cook them. All I know is if you throw hot liquid into eggs, you cook them. But if you do it very slowly, then all of a sudden you can heat them up to super high temperature and they don't ever cook. They stay nice and creamy and can turn into a sauce. So if you're making a hollandaise or a curd, this is how you do it. So I'm literally just stirring nonstop, and drizzling this in very slowly. It's amazing, all the different things you can do with an egg. This is all tempered, so now we're gonna take it over to the stovetop and heat it up. All right, y'all, we are gonna put this over a medium-low heat, and we are going to put you wanted a candy thermometer. I don't have a candy thermometer, but this one works just fine. This is what I usually use like for grilling something. And we're gonna pour our eggs in, and we are going to whisk pretty much constantly until our temperature hits 170. But what I have learned, y'all, is that once it hits about 150, you start to see it really thicken up. You just keep stirring, and when it hits 170 degrees, you take it off. It is that simple. And as you're doing this, it gets like more and more foamy. The first time I was a little worried because it didn't seem like it was thickening, but it was just getting foamier and foamier. But trust me, just keep going. At 150, you'll start to see a difference. We're about to hit 150, and what happens at 150 is the froth starts to get super thick, and then you can feel as you're stirring that it's getting thicker. So we just hit 150, and see how it's gotten super frothy now? You can just literally feel it start to thickening here. Feeling thicker by the second. Almost there, y'all, and it is really getting thick on me.
There it is.
There we go, 170, pulling it off the heat. So we're flipping back into our bowl. So you're gonna take your butter that is already cut up into little pieces, your heavy cream, and your salt. And you're just gonna whisk, and that butter will get melted. Look at that pretty color. Oh my gosh, y'all. There is no coloring in here other than straight from your eggs and your lemon. So you just stir until that butter has completely melted, and then we're gonna let it cool. That's it. How simple was that? Yum. These protein balls, y'all, I am so proud of. I've made these on film one other time, but I've perfected it since then. I've messed with my recipe a little bit. This takes this low carb granola. Again, I'm not sponsored, y'all. I just have a ton of it, and I wanted to find other ways to use it, and I thought these were fun. But anyways, this low carb granola works so well in protein balls. I don't know if you ever in the past have made protein balls, but I used to make protein balls for the kids with protein powder and dates and nuts. The dates were the sweetening, and then I would add protein powder and nuts, and they would form together in a ball, and they were super delish. Well, I kind of wanted to make a low carb version of that, and I thought this granola would really lend itself well to it, and it worked, and I'm so excited. So I'm so excited to share this with y'all. Okay, we are gonna take our granola. Again, recipe will be down below exactly. This is my recipe, so I'll write it out for you down below. So we're going in with a cup of the granola. You can use any flavor you want. I have now made it with all of the flavors, and they're all good. My favorite is still probably the blueberry because we are using banana extract. Banana extract. This one is called Pure Banana Extract Olive Nation. I will link everything down below, but this stuff is amazing. You can make keto banana bread or make any keto product taste like banana with this. There are so many extracts out there that taste artificial and fake, and this banana, oh my gosh, y'all. I found this from Highfalutin Low Carb, and when he did keto banana bread, and I bought it immediately, and I am so glad I did. Highly recommend. Okay, so we're just gonna dump now. This is low carb chocolate peanut butter spread. So you can use any kind of peanut butter you want, or almond butter, nut butter, it doesn't matter. I like this one because it's a little chocolatey and it's banana, like you taste the banana. So I'm just making these balls have like a chocolate banana vibe. But again, you could make this exact recipe and change up your flavor profile however you see fit. Okay, the next thing is we're adding some collagen, we're adding some unflavored protein powder, some cinnamon, and some salt. So that's going in. We're gonna have to get in here with our hands at some point, but first I just start going with my spatula, getting it all mixed up. The peanut butter is what's gonna bind it all together, y'all. So just like when we were making that crust for our cheesecake earlier, you wanna get it to a coarse, crumbly consistency that when you pick it up and squish it, it sticks together. So depending on the day and the humidity and whatever, because baking is weird even though we don't actually bake these, depending on the consistency, you may want to add a little bit more peanut butter. But first, do your best to get it. Y'all, I think the cheesecake's yelling at us. Let's check it out. Thank you, Siri. You want to take your cheesecakes out and set them somewhere to cool completely. So I like to use my stovetop, y'all, because it has the grates under it. So instead of putting it on a cookie sheet, I just set it on my stovetop. So we're going to set that there and let it cool. And we are done with the oven, so we can turn this off. Okay, back to our granola. Once you've got it pretty much mixed, we're going to get in there with our fingers. See how it's starting to come together like coarse crumbs? Like that? Okay, I'm pretty sure we're going to end up needing a little bit more peanut butter, but we shall see. One little side note, y'all, if the balls are not coming together in your hands, if they're being super, super crumbly and hard to work with, just add a little bit more peanut butter. So I'm just going back to ones that are smaller and adding a little bit more. One other trick is if your hands eventually get super, super sticky and things just won't stick together because they're just wanting to stick to your hands. So I usually have to wash my hands at least twice through this procedure. So I didn't show that on camera, but I always have to stop and wash my hands because at some point it starts wanting to stick to your hands more than it wants to stick to each other. It doesn't mean it needs more peanut butter, it just means your hands need to be less sticky. The next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these balls and put them in the freezer for about 10 minutes just to firm up, and then we'll dip them in our chocolate. Ooh, that's cold. Okay, we've got our little balls a little bit on the frozen side. They don't need to be completely frozen. It's just gonna help hold them together. And then we've got our Lily's chocolate chips and some coconut oil in here. And all we're gonna do is drop our ball right in there. Use your spoon to kind of get it covered and then let some of that shake off. And then we're gonna just put them down right there. And we're just gonna do that with all of them. After you get your chocolate, you're gonna take some Maldon sea salt if you have it. You can just use any kind of salt you have, but I like these big flakes. It's super, super big flakes. I'm just gonna drizzle a few of those on the top. It just gives it a nice little extra taste. I love it, love it, love it. If you don't like the sea salt and chocolate, you don't have to do that step. Then we're gonna put it back in the freezer and let them harden up, and then I store them in the refrigerator because the chocolate will get a little melty, so I just store them in the refrigerator. So we're back a few hours later. Everything is nice and chilled. The lemon curd is chilled, the cheesecakes are chilled, so I'm just gonna take a dollop of lemon curd and put it right on the top. Lemon curd cheesecake. We're gonna let my daddy try it out. He came right at the right time, y'all.
Yeah, indeed.
This is lemon cheesecake with lemon curd on top. Check it
looks
out.
terrific.
He does keto with me.
I tasted the lemon curd the other day. I'm anxious to taste it with this.
What you think?
Really good.
Isn't it
You
good?
could never tell there was no sugar in that.
Right? All of the kids like
It's
this
really
one.
good. I'm not sure though. I may have to have a second.
Just to see.
Just to be sure.
Yeah. But see how easy it came out of this, y'all? It just pulls right out of these silicone things. So I just put this right on top, and then we just store them just like this. And then you can peel them out whenever you want to make it, or you can just keep your lemon curd in here and put it on when you're ready to eat it. Either way.
I didn't know those were paper.
I know, it's like silicone, so you can reuse it. Isn't that cool? All right, y'all, last thing we're gonna show you is the protein balls. I just took some out of the freezer. They are perfectly what? I just took some of these out of the freezer. I thought I'd cut one real quick and show you the inside. So, these have been sitting for a few minutes because my dad came over and we wanted to chat, so they're getting a little bit soft. But this is what they look like on the inside. They are so, so tasty. All right, Jay, taste one of these protein balls for us.
I love these things.
They've been flying like hotcakes, y'all. This is the
Salt.
third batch I've made.
They're so good. They're like I don't know, something you get out of like fancy chocolate tier. I love them. They're great.
All right, y'all, I hope you will try both of these recipes. They're both super, super easy. I will have all the links down below, and I will come at you with another recipe really soon. Bye, y'all. I hope you have a super blessed day.